Hi, this is part 3 of playing acoustic guitar in a modern worship band. And we've been focusing a lot on simplicity and arrangement, and I don't know if that seems frustrating sometimes, like, man, do I ever get to play anything? And first off, yes, there's plenty of songs that are songs where it's like full-on strumming acoustic guitar, like I will see of your love come down with my hands to heaven. I mean, there's plenty of songs where there's still like full-on strumming, but there are a lot of songs in modern worship that require more partial stuff and subtlety and simplicity. So we're gonna keep looking at some of those because the other songs are like native to acoustic guitarists. Like that's typically how we would play. So those are easy things to play. So we're gonna look some more at playing to arrangement. And one of the things we're gonna look at is that it's important to know music theory. And I do have other videos here on my YouTube channel that teach more about music theory. And it's important to study that and learn that because this song that we're going to look at, Grace Like a Wave by Elevation Worship, is in D flat. And so we could just play it with bar chords, but in this particular song, we're going to play some stuff with bar chords and some stuff with open chords. And so we will use a capo at the first fret. So now if we play in the key of C, capoed at the first fret, that raises it up to C sharp, which is the same thing as D flat. So we'll be capoed at the first. So again, it's important to know music theory to be able to do some of these things. And in the beginning of the song, once again, it's mainly electric guitars and keyboards. So we'll just be doing palm mute stuff on the bass notes of the song, just to add another texture in, but not to get in the way. So on the G flat chord, we'll be playing what would be like an F chord, but just the bass note. And then to the A flat chord, again, need to know your chords up and down the neck to be able to do this stuff. So that'd be a G flat chord, an A flat chord. Then the next chord is a D flat over F, so we'd be playing a C with an E in the bass. Capoed makes it a D flat with an F in the bass. And then it would be back to the G flat chord. But again, I'm just going to play palm muted on the bass notes to keep it simple and subtle, and another texture but not get in the way of the rest of the instruments in the song. Now, when we get to the chorus, we're going to add more. Still kind of be playing some of those same chords, but the actual power chords. So we'll be strumming on a few strings, on the Grace Comes Like a Wave, crashing over and over and over me. Okay, so we'll use power chords. It brings it a little bit more into the chorus. But when we get to the bridge, we're going to do something different. We'll talk about right before we go to the bridge. So here's the beginning of the song. You'll see me just doing bass notes, palm muted, and the power chords in this capoed.
1, 2, 3, 4. Intro. Verse. Pre-chorus.
May seem boring by yourself, but think of the whole rest of the song. The whole rest of the song. And then we'll
Chorus. Interlude.
to the simple, stuff. So it may seem boring, like if it were just you, but since it's the whole band, everything else that's going on in the band makes it compelling. And so it's like learning to be part of an orchestra. The cellist usually is playing one note. The oboe player is playing one note. And that's what we're thinking more of with regular rhythm instruments in this kind of music. So here's going to be another exercise in simplicity. In the bridge, it goes to this ethereal part. And here's the beauty of simplicity. So the chords to that part are G flat, A flat, B flat minor, and also there's a D flat over F. Now, since we're capoed, that'll be like playing an F, a G, and I'm going to think of it like as an F2. Again, theory is important. F2, which leaves that string and that string open in an F2 chord, but we're not going to worry about all this other part of the chord. We're only going to do these two notes. Okay, then in a G chord or a G sus, we're going to change it to a G sus, so that again we have those same two notes. A B flat minor, which would in our capo position be an A minor, but we're going to play it as an A minor 7, so we can keep those two notes again. And then in a D flat over F, which was for us is a C over E, once again those two notes, which are C and G, okay, but capoed up, are actually D flat and A flat. Those two notes is all we need, because they're consistent without all of the chords in that chord progression, with us altering the chords a little bit. And that gives us a very simple thing to do in that bridge, but sounds really neat. It's simple enough to not step on the toes or get in the way of the rest of it, but it adds a little something. So we're going to hop up to the bridge here, and I'll show you how this would play out. We're just going to stay on those two notes through that whole bridge, instrumental and the bridge.
Instrumental. Bridge.
Now, again, you're playing this by yourself. It may seem a little tedious, but in the context of the melody, the lead vocal of the song, the things that are happening with the electric guitar and the keyboards and the drums, it just adds a good texture. And we could do a slight variation to give it a little variation, like and then we stop once again, and then notice how I'm really going with the groove. Instead of just strumming away, I'm just doing to make more space in the song.
Interlude.
There's actually great joy in learning to enjoy restraint and simplicity, and great joy in learning the joy of just playing a few notes here and there and having space in between the notes. So we'll look at one more song in the next video, the fourth part of playing acoustic guitar for worship music.